that? No, that's not why, right? It's because he is a candidate who has broken the boundaries of the guardrails of American political mainstream establishment. And he's done it specifically on one issue. Pay more taxes, and we can't accept that. No. What is it that in interview after interview he gets asked? Does anyone know? He gets asked to condemn a certain phrase. Does anyone know what the phrase is? Globalized intifada. A phrase which he actually never said, which is really funny. It's really interesting when you have to condemn something you never said. But I mean, Muslims were well acquainted with this. That's the issue, right? The issue is Israel-Palestine. That's the issue in this election. And the reason it's a symbolic issue, but it's also a substantive issue. Islamophobia we've seen in the past 25 years. The war on terror in America we've seen in the last 25 years was in a lot of ways kind of the American political establishment's crackdown on Palestinian activism just put on steroids. So the war on terror is kind of in of Palestinian activism and then just amped up and sort of extended to a few other groups. But that's really always at its core. It's very important to remember that. And so the point I want to make here, I will return to this several times, inshallah. Muslims do very well in America. Muslims fit in very well in America, right? First of all, we know this because Muslims have already contributed substantively in America. Imam Siraj, why do politicians take pictures with him? MashaAllah, why? Is it because he's like extremely attractive? We have an example here today I didn't even know about, that the former, I guess, mayor of Irvine. I mean, so Muslims contribute to their communities successfully. Why? Muslims also do very well in America because Muslims are, in general, very religious, generally pretty socially conservative people who like business and things like that. So in a lot of ways, they're like a lot of other Americans. And if you've noticed this, even American lawmakers, government, legal, law enforcement, they don't really care if somebody has hijab on or if they have a long beard or if they don't want to shake hands. What's behind Islamophobia? When does Islamophobia appear? It appears around politics. And it's not about politics about, I think this group should be taxed or that group should be taxed, or I think there should be a red light here, or it's about a Palestine issue. That's the line you can't cross. We all know that, right? And no politician has ever crossed that line and survived. I mean, ex-politicians, someone like Jimmy Carter, even with all the goodwill he had, even after he was the president, even with the Carter Foundation, even with all these, even just building houses with like hammer and nails and all this stuff when he was like in his 80s. Even then, if you remember, he wrote a book called Palestine, Peace, Not Apartheid. He barely survived that reputationally. This is the issue. There's a no-go line in American politics for Muslims. You cross it and you condemn socially and politically, but possibly also investigated and prosecuted legally. If you remember, in 2011 and 2015, the Center for American Progress did two who say this person. We know names like